on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through, he tags Richard Eck.
Hello viewers and welcome to the Bob Shock 150, the fourth race in our Piston Cup series. These guys like to mix up their racing with oval and road track. So today we are at Watkins Glen near New York in the US of A, and we are bringing the race live to you on YouTube and Twitch TV. I am your host Richard Losper, and with me in the broadcast booth today we have Ayrton Ellis and Sean Ambrose. Hello, Ayrton.
Hey, Richard. Great to be here. I've been looking forward to this race all week.
Yeah, I know you love the big car on a road track. And Sean, how about you, my friend?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful 78 degrees here at the track in Watkins Glen, and we're ready to go racing.
Haha, we sure are. And of course, bringing all the action to you is our director, Giancarlo Lenzi. Now, Ayrton, Watkins Glen, the Cup configuration. Tell us about this shrine of American motorsport, hey?
Well, Watkins Glen, also known as The Glen, is one of the most famous racetracks in the USA. And it was former host to the F1 Grand Prix circuit of the US, and also hosts many of the racing series today, including NASCAR Sprint Cup and Nationwide Series. It has 8 corners, 3.9 kilometers or 2.5 miles long, and a lot of very fast corners, including the difficult uphill S section of Turn 2 and the notorious bus stop. Back to you, Richard.
Yeah, it's going to be only, a lot of us know this track, Watkins Glen. I have to say, lots of people say it's a boring track, this and that, but I really do like this track. I do all my testing of any new cars on this track, so I'm looking forward to a great race here today. Now, Sean, they're running the B car here as they do in all the races. Tell us a little bit about this car, my friend. Sean, are you with us, my friend?
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry. My bad. We've got the Ford Mustang and the Chevrolet Impala today. Both have 700 horsepower, up to about 700 horsepower, which is a lot of horsepower for a track like this. So throttle management is key. The cars are pretty stable, but you do have to set it up to turn right and left here. So that is a challenge. And the cars should adapt pretty well depending on your setup. If your strategy is right, you can do this on one pit stop, but it's probably going to be two, and we'll see how the caution flags work. But 1 to 2 pit stops will get you through this one.
Okay, and we do have a lap guide today to show the viewers at home around this track. So, Giancarlo, why don't you play the lap guide for us?
All right, Kevin Brown is behind the wheel of the GSRC Nationwide Mustang, so let's do a lap around Watkins Glen International. There's a steep hill on the braking for one, so expect plenty of guys to accidentally blow the corner. You've got a lot of runoff, but don't get too greedy since you lose speed returning to the actual track. Now we're into the S's. It's just a slight lift here, and you gotta be wary of the curbs on either side. Also, those walls are right there to collect you if you drift wide. Still not out of the woods on this final right, as we're still getting wheel spin. Now we're on the backstretch, barreling towards the inner loop. These are heavy cars, so they gotta brake pretty early. This place invites passes, but it often ends in tears unless your competitor cooperates. Then we fly directly into the carousel. Lots and lots of banking here, especially for a road course. So you gotta use it to your advantage the best you can. Main thing is set yourself up for the exit because it's a long ways to Indy. Get to the right and spot your braking point. Just watch the exit here, since touching the grass will send your car straight into the barrier on the left. Short shoot into the final turn, and there's more banking here as well. Get your car into that groove and don't chuck it in the tires on the exit. Once you've done that successfully, you've completed a lap around Watkins Glen.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen, viewers. This is the Bob Shock 150, and we are looking forward to a great race here today. The guys are busy qualifying as we speak, and we'll let that carry on. Meanwhile, I would like to have a little chat about the championship so far, Ayrton. So 3 rounds we've completed, and the championship is really taking shape now. The top 10 has all the names that we've been calling in the previous races up to now. So take us through some of the names in the top 10 there, Ayrton.
Thanks, Richard. In the lead of the championship at the moment is Fabian Dijon. Behind him, 10 points back, is Neil Heckins, and also tied in second place is Joey Schmidt. And then in fourth is Dennis Gerson, 5th, Tim Wyan, 6th, Roy Visser, 7th, Pascal de Burk, 8th, Rudy DeVitt, 9th, Pascal Dukers, and 10th, Kim van Stickelen, who's 48 points back. So those top 10 within 50 points behind Fabian Dijon. Dijon is definitely not having a huge lead, but he is in the lead at the moment.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at this the list here. I note that Rudy DeVitt, who is one of the really fast guys in the series. I mean, he seems to top the leaderboards in practice and qualifying almost every time. But yet he's still sitting back there in 8th place, so he must be having a bit of bad luck there, Ethan.
Yeah, we've been seeing him in recent races. He's definitely been having some bad luck, always getting caught in the wrong instance or just being in the wrong places at the wrong time. So at the moment, he's top of the qualifying standings at Watkins Glen. So hopefully that he can maybe get a good result here.
Yeah, and they are using similar qualifying to what they do at the oval tracks, which means they're only going to be running 2 laps here, Sean. So it looks to me like the qualifying has got about 3 minutes left to go. Rudy DeVitt, as Ayrton just mentioned, is top of the list once again. Let's hope, Sean, that he can have a good race. This, of course, is a road course, so we won't have all that drama that we normally see in oval racing.
Well, we sure hope not. I've got to say, the times are impressive, very impressive. These guys have just run some blistering laps, sub 111 laps, and the track record in a nationwide car was set just last year by Sam Hornish Jr. in the nationwide circuit at a 111.538. And well, here's Rudy DeVitt sitting on the pole with a 110.708. Amazing,
Yeah, that's a great time. And of course, the Nationwide, we are well aware that the Nationwide does run here in real life as well. And it's normally a lot of fun because it seems to me like the real life guys treat this as a sort of fun race, even though it is part of the championship.
Yeah, well, the nationwide guys run mainly ovals as well, so it is a little. It's a getaway, a getaway race, getaway to do a little something different, and everybody tends to, well, most everybody tends to relax a little bit more and feeds on the excitement of doing something different, and which is different in this case since the men running in this race are used to running road courses mainly and are trying ovals for the first time. So I think we're going to see some people here in their element today, and I really look forward to it. It's going to be a great race.
Yes, absolutely. And judging by the times, it's going to be a fast race as well. Looking at the qualifying right now as they're just about finishing up there. Rudy de Wit, as you mentioned, a sub 111, a 110.708. That is very, very fast around here. Jarno Panakit, not that far behind him either. He's just put in a 110 as well. So qualifying should be just about done now, and we're going to be looking forward to a start in this race very soon. Ethan, I note we've got 37 cars that went into qualifying. A few of them didn't put in any laps.
Yeah, and a very large field here because I think the max grid spot's about 40 or 50, so a very large field. And it'll be interesting to see. A lot of these guys are very close in speed. Shall we head through the qualifying grid?
Yeah, qualifying is completed now, so please go ahead and give us the first 10.
Okay, Rudy de Wit on pole. Alongside him is Jarno Panakit, then Tim Wyan, Nick Thyssen in 4th, Pascal Dukers in 5th, Stephen Van Helsden in 6th, Fabian de Jong, our championship leader, in 7th, Neil Heckens in 8th, Dennis Garrison in 9th, and Maxim Reinstein in 10th.
And in 11th place, we've got Koen Gerards. In 12th place, Joop Jelissen. In 13th place, Kevin Weckermans. 14th place, Roy Visser. A little bit down for him. In 15th place, Bob van Katwijk. In 16th, we've got Denny Reitz. In 17th, Chris Zilstra. In 18th place, Richard Cortland. 19th is Bram van der Stickelen. And in 20th place, Pascal de Burg. Sean?
Yes, and in 21st, we have Marco Hoekstra. 22nd, Thyman Neighbors. 23rd, Freddie Bezems. 24th, Juice van der Stoep. 25th, Kees Jokums. 26th, Robert Witt. 27th, Eric Mulder. 28th, Joos van Hoorn. 29th, Kim van der Stickelen. And in 30th, Johan Somers.
Back to you, Ethan.
Then 31st is Henk Rens, 32nd, Victor Elzenar, 33rd, G. Slackmulders, 34th, Joey Schmid, who's actually quite far in the standings. He did not set down a qualifying lap. 35th is Jory Flossie, 36th, Mark Figueres, and to round up the field is Nano Vanderpool in 37th place.
So there you have it, folks. 37 drivers going to take the green flag here today. It's going to be very interesting. My excitement levels are rising already as we see now the pace car leading them away. Sean, just quickly, your thoughts on what's going to happen here today?
First lap, first corner. Honestly, I wasn't privy to doing any testing with these guys, but I know they're all great road racers. So I'm looking forward to settling in and seeing a fast race, and it could be over in 30 minutes.
Well, Ethan, do you think today might be Rudy de Wit's opportunity to get a win in?
I definitely think he has a very good chance. He has been fastest in practice and qualifying, very fast, and he seems to be able to run sub-11s consistently, which no one else so far is able to do, as we've seen from practice to qualifying. So he looks set to go as long as he can keep it clean, but he does have a couple guys who, using the draft, especially since this is a little bit of a draft track, will be able to keep on his tail and keep him under pressure.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun race. I've got fingers crossed for Rudy DeVitt. I think it's time. He deserves a win. A little bit disappointing there, Sean. Joey Schmidt, who's running third in the championship, no qualifying time.
Yeah, it looks like Joey decided not to give it a run, but Joey's third in points right now because of that amazing run he had last 2 weeks ago at Daytona, and we'll see how this one plays out for him. But it's a long race. We'll see. He can make his way to the front.
Yeah, he is starting in 34th place, so he is way back. He's fourth last in the actual lineup here, so he's got a lot of work to do to move himself up front. But we do have some of the guys getting ready for a start very soon. Ayrton will get you to call the start as usual. The pace car's about to duck in, so over to you.
Yep, Rudy did a bit, leading them away. He's going to be able to go as soon as the green flag is out, and the green flag's going. He has shot like a bullet and left everyone off guard. Jarno Panicky is now being attacked by Tim Wine in third place on the inside, but Rudy did a very good start as they're going too wide into turn one. The number 08 car of Tim Wine got a little bump from 96 car Pascal Dukers, but these guys are heading back into single file now as they go up the S's.
Yeah, and Pascal Dukers lost out there. He actually has been overtaken by Nick Piston. So Nick Piston now sitting in fourth place. You're quite right there. Rudy DeVitt just shot away like a bullet from a gun, and he is now just going through the bus stop. He's being followed by Jarno Panicky and, of course, Tim Vayan and Nick Piston behind them. So a good, clean start there, Sean.
Well, it was clean up front, not too clean at the back. Nano van der Poel got spun, went off track there in turn one, and it looks like Robert Witt decided to start from the pits. So Nano van der Poel has made that position, has made up that distance, though. He's already reached the rest of the field, and looks like he's a man on a mission right now.
And they come to the end of lap one with Rudy DeVitt still clearly in the lead at this point in time. Now, it's going to, bear in mind, they still have to do a pit stop or a number of pit stops. So, Eden, how's that going to play out, do you think?
Well, definitely doing pit stops in a road course is a new thing for drivers, but these guys have been doing oval racing so far this season, so they're probably used to it by now. But 62-lap race, definitely not just speed, but consistency is going to be a factor as well. These guys' tires are going to wear out, especially on these heavy cars that have a lot of tire spin. So they're going to have to worry about their tires later on in the race.
Definitely, and that's going to be a feature because you've got some pretty harsh turns to the carousel. For instance, we were talking earlier about guys actually drifting the car through the carousel, so that's going to be pretty hard on tires. I'm noting that Fabian de Jong, who's been one of the front runners in all the other races as well, is sitting back in 7th place, so a pretty handy position for him to be in as he now comes up on the back of, who is that in front of him? I'll just check. That's Steven van Helsingen. So he's got a bit of work to do to get up to where Rudy DeVitt is, and Rudy DeVitt is just showing them the way here at the moment, Sean.
Yeah, he is. Rudy's going to be hard to beat, pass, and ultimately take over to win this race, just based on what we've seen so far. Not much going on here at the back of the pack yet, though, as I'm looking through down through the field. Everybody's in line and just taking care of the car right now, trying to make up little bits of position where they can, and that's about it.
Yeah, I have to say, Ethan, I'm very impressed with the way these guys are handling this car on this track. It's a big, heavy car. It's got a lot of horsepower. You have to be really conscious of your throttle control. But these guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, and this is actually one of my most favorite combinations of track and car. The Nationwide B car and Watkins Glen are such a fun combo, and this car suits this track really well. So I'm guessing these guys have really been enjoying practicing on this track, and it really shows as a lot of these guys, as we heard from Neil Heckens earlier, he was talking about Rudy DeVitt and Tim Wine. They've been putting a lot of practice in this past week to be really fast.
Yeah, talking about Neil Heckens, he is sitting back in ninth place. He's another one of our championship leaders. He's second in the championship at the moment. These guys are doing a really good job. We haven't seen a lot of challenges up the front at this point in time between the drivers, all single file at the moment, Ethan.
Yeah, this I'm kind of surprised by that because this track has a lot of very good passing opportunities, but it probably just shows the real how close in speed all these drivers are. They just can't get a run on anyone else because the straights aren't that long. You have to get a really good exit and maybe hope on a mistake on the driver in front.
Hey guys,
Yes.
Joey Schmidt is in the pits. I'm not really sure why, but he's decided to put the car in the pits right now. That puts him back in 37th, last guy on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, just having a look. He's actually coming out of the pits now, so I'm not quite sure. Perhaps our spotter can have a look at what the reason was for him entering the pits. I don't know, but he's certainly exiting again to rejoin the race. But that's going to put him even further down. He's now in absolute last place, so not a good race for Joey, I would imagine, and is going to be a little disappointed by that. But back to the front here, where we still have Rudy de Wit leading quite comfortably. Jano Panakit is a full 1.2 seconds behind Rudy, and then further back we've got Tim Vine another 2 seconds. This race is becoming slightly a bit of a procession, Ayrton.
Yeah, and just an update on Joey Schmidt. He hit the wall, so he's going into pits to repair his car. Hopefully he can get back on track and gain some positions, but this race will definitely be a hard hit on him in the championship.
Yeah, and you know, he is, where did we say he was? Joey
tied in
Schmidt
second.
in third place. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough one for him to come back from. But let us see, do we have any action that we can call at this point in time? Sean, what are you seeing?
You know, not a whole lot right now. Everybody's in line. Not seeing any side-by-side action through the field right now. But you know, I did come up with a couple of, just real quick, let's take an opportunity. The Bob Shock 150 and what that's all about. The Bob Shock is it's actually for a pedal, and half of the drivers in the field are using that pedal, and it's an attachment for the pedal for the Club Sport pedals by Fantech. And one lucky driver, they participate at least 5 of the races, is going to be awarded one of those before the end of the season, or I'm sorry, at the end of the season. And those who don't have those pedals will get $25 in iRacing credits. So look forward to that for a lucky winner.
Okay, so do we know what the Bob Shock actually does for the Club Sport pedals? I mean, I do have a set of Club Sport pedals, and I'm thinking I would love to have a Bob Shock right now, but what does it do?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. It is a damper that is made especially for those Fanatic CSR Elite pedals. A shock, if you will, that can be adjusted for different tension rates that will allow you to work that pedal as hard or as light as you'd like to. Pretty neat little attachment.
Okay, so does it fit all the Fanatic pedals, or because you mentioned the Club Sport and the CSR Elite pedals, so obviously it's quite versatile.
Yes, it is. It's I'm looking here. It says the Club Sport V1 pedals and the Elite.
Excellent. All right, well, back to the racing, where I'm now driving with Nick Piston. It seems to me that he's been chasing Tim Vayan for quite some time. He seems to get a bit close, particularly through the front stretch here, Ethan, and then he hasn't quite got enough to catch and challenge Tim Vayan, or maybe he's just playing possum a little bit and just hanging back, waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, Nick has been pressuring Tim Wyan for quite a little while in these past few laps, and really just sitting right on his back bumper, hoping for a mistake. But Tim Wyan's being very confident and not making any mistakes at the moment. Just about Nick Thisson, we haven't seen much of him actually in this series. Haven't seen much on the oval side, so maybe he's just really into the road racing.
Yeah, he's a good driver. We've seen him partaking, of course, in the oval races. He's always been there or thereabouts, but hasn't made particularly, big moves in the championship. But I just watched him there. He kind of had a bit of a look there, Ayrton, on Tim Vayen, but then just fell back into line.
Yeah, it looks like that also cost him a little bit of speed. Just a note that a lot of the top guys in this pack at the moment, Rudy de Wit in first, Tim Vayen in third, Pascal Ducers in fifth, they're chasing Fabian Dijon in the championship, and they're all three ahead of him at the moment. So these guys are going to be looking to rack up some really nice points to close in on that championship lead.
Yeah. It's now, let's go back a little bit to Fabian de Jong, because there's a battle developing here between Fabian and the guy in front of him, Steven van Helsdingen. They're going up the S's right now, and he was right on the back bumper of Steven van Helsdingen a second or two ago. As we see, Steven just touching the fencing there, and now this might give an opportunity to Fabian de Jong to overtake. He's going on the inside as they approach the bus stop, makes the pass quite easily in the end, and picks up a spot there.
Yeah, very good driving from him. Hopefully, Steven van Helsdingen didn't get too much damage from that hit. But now, right behind them is now Maxime Reinstein, Dennis Garrison, Neil Heckens. These guys have all been hanging in the pack all race. Just to know that Maxime Reinstein, he's actually passed Dennis Garrison and Neil Heckens in the past 2 laps. So he's really on the move.
Yeah. This does look like we've got a battle going on here. I'm with Dennis Garrison at the moment. He is just on the rear of this little pack. Just in front of him, we have Maxime Ramstein, as you mentioned, and then Steven van Helsdingen, who's now under attack from these guys. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening here. Meanwhile, we'll go to Sean and find out what you're seeing, what's happening there, Sean.
Well, I'm seeing Chris Zylstra right now making a move and going into turn 1. And cars following him here, Denny Rates and Joop Jellison trying to get through the S's here pretty clean. Pretty good battle going on between those three, and it's all for position 16th through 18th place. Definitely a pack to watch as they're making progress catching the cars in front of them.
Okay, we want to go back to Dennis Garrison. On screen, we've been driving from the nose of Dennis Garrison, and the action's getting pretty hot up here, Ayrton.
Yeah, and more guys have joined the party in this pack. Koen Gerrits and Kevin Wekemans have latched on to the end of this pack. So this pack is really formed. They've got a lot of drivers. And if anyone makes a mistake near the front of the pack, they're going to lose a lot of positions.
Yeah, it's about a 6-car pack at the moment. Just driving with Neil Heckens at the moment, sitting in 10th place. He's kind of in line at the moment as they go down into the 90th turn number 1. Dennis Garrison is trying as hard as he can to get with the Maxime Ramstein. Now, the action is pretty hot at the moment. Fabian de Jong, definitely the guy leading this pack. Steven van Helsdingen behind him, then Maxime Ramstein. They're a little bit spread out right now, but just a few seconds ago, they were hot on each other's tails. And Nick Thisson, of course, as they go into the bus stop once again, 11 laps elapsed so far. So still a fair bit of racing to go, and of course, pit stops to come as well.
Yeah, and I've actually noticed Fabian Dijon, I think he's actually slightly pulling away from this pack every lap. So he looks like he's a little bit faster than these guys. He's going to try to catch up to Pascal Ducers, who's about 4 seconds ahead. So he's going to have some clean air for a little while.
Yeah, I think the battle is with Maxime Ramstein and Steven van Helsdingen. Now, we did see just a lap ago Steven van Helsdingen come under attack, made a small mistake, and was overtaken by Fabian de Jong. Now he's under attack from Maxime Ramstein as they go back into turn 1. These guys are really doing a brilliant job of handling this very, very heavy car. Up through the S's now, is right on the back. Will he try and make a move, Ayrton, as they go into the bus stop? but is not quite close enough to get alongside Stephen Van Helsingen. So Stephen doesn't seem to have any damage from that earlier touch with the fencing there.
Yeah, as they all start to close up in the braking. That's what I love about this car. As Max Marston takes a little look, he's lost a little bit of time. But what I was saying, that these cars under braking, they close up a lot, and it's just a really cool according effect to look at, especially from a bird's eye view.
Yeah, and we note that Dennis Garrison got into that action as well. His nose suddenly appeared just behind Maxime Ramstein. So these guys have got a really good battle going on here. Now, Sean, what's the pit window looking like? Have you done any consultations with the guys, or have you worked out some numbers?
Yeah, we're looking at about 32 laps. As I mentioned in the pre-race, you can run this race on one pit stop if you take care of your tires, stay out of trouble, and save a little fuel here and there. Which Rudy DeVitt is certainly in a position where he could do that right now, as he's trying to get around some of these back markers here. I'm kind of watching him. Oh, that was awful close. It's definitely possible to run it. Some of these guys will probably go on 2 stops, but 32 laps is about the pit window we're going to be looking at. So, be coming up here pretty soon.
Okay, that's fantastic. That was a very close call there for Rudy DeVitt. He actually got a touch from Guy Slackmulders as he was passing him in the rear. Thankfully, it didn't do any damage because I would hate to see bad luck dog Rudy DeVitt. He's having an absolute great race. Jano Panakit in second place is still about 2.6 seconds adrift of Rudy, so he's still in with a chance of catching Rudy. But they are in amongst the back markers now.
Yeah, and this is where a new skill comes into play. Getting through traffic is a different skill, part of racing, especially if the back markers are not very communicative with the front runners. But it looks like some of these guys, they're doing some very good driving, moving over as the leaders come by and getting out of the way, which is very respectable by the back markers.
Yeah, well, Director, put your car for a moment on Kim Van Stickelen, way down in 32nd place. Look at that car, Ethan. It's all bashed up. He's had definitely some incidents.
Yeah, but he's definitely not in some troubles, but he's definitely being respectable and trying to let these guys by without any problems. So doing a good job, even though he is down in 32nd place, a lap down.
Okay, back to the leaders. So we've been with Rudy DeVitt. We've seen Jano Panakit making his way through. Now, third place guy Tim Vayen is now facing the same issues, having to pass all these back markers. I'm surprised, Ethan, how quickly it's taken the leaders to get in amongst the back markers. We've only done 15 laps.
Well, a lot of these guys are all road racers, so definitely they are going to vary, and especially on a short track like this, it's going to vary in times.
Well, we're back right at the front now. We're driving with this Kim Van Stickelen, and Kim Van Stickelen, bashed up car, purple color, white, still doing a good job, still circulating even with a car that is pretty badly damaged. But let us go off from that. I want to go to car number 1, which is Nick Piston, and see how he's progressing at the moment. So we want to drive with Nick Piston right now. He is pretty much by himself at the moment, Ethan. So Pascal Duke is right behind him, a little way off. So when you're driving by yourself like this in a long race, what are you thinking, do you reckon?
Well, definitely the most important part is to not lose concentration. I can't say how many times I've just gotten bored of driving on my own, and I end up not even noticing, just end up going a lot slower. When you have a car in front of you or behind you, you definitely have a lot more energy, a lot more focused. So he does have Pascal Dukers, who's been able to catch up while they were trying to weave through lap traffic, so now he has something to worry about.
Yeah, it's interesting because I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I have exactly the same problem. when you are in a battle with somebody either in front of you or behind, um, your focus, your attention is focused entirely on that, and for me, I seem to do better when I'm in a battle. Whereas when you're driving by yourself, it becomes kind of routine, and you don't actually notice that you might actually be losing time to the guys in front of you, or guys catching up behind you. But still driving with Nick Piston. He's coming up on Mark Gutierrez now, so that's a lap car. So he's now got to start concentrating because he's going to be in amongst the back markers. He goes to the outside, passes Mark Gutierrez pretty easily there, and now has to put his attention to the next driver in front of him, which will be Pascal Dukas, in fact, and he's passing Pascal Dukas up the S's now. So Nick Piston doing a great job in 4th place at this point in time. All right, well, we haven't gone to you for a little while, Sean, so perhaps you can give us some information on what you're looking at the moment.
Man, I'm watching a great race right now between Maxim Ramstein, Dennis Garrison, Neil Heckens, Keen Juratz, and Kevin Vekemans. I mean, they are just slinging it around, going through the inner loop right now. They're all on point, and I don't think there's going to be a wreck, but it's sure been close a couple of times. They are really battling, and like I said, they're staying together and running some pretty hot laps right now. It's pretty exciting racing going on for these positions, 7th through 12th place. Just incredible racing I'm seeing here. No one has gone off track, haven't gotten into each other. It's been close several times. They're getting into the turns hard. I just hope they don't use the cars up here in the early stages of the race, because it's been incredible to watch.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We are currently driving with Neil Heckens, and Neil is kind of at the rear of a pretty large pack there, 2, 4, 5 cars. He's just dropped off a fraction. Just in front of him, we've got Kun Gerard. In front of them, Dennis Garrison. So these guys are battling hard. They're all in the top 10. Neil Heckens just outside that top 10 in 11th place. So he must be doing his best to try and get into the top 10 as they go through the inner loop now. There's a large pack, as you mentioned, Sean, and we do have some action up in the carousel there. A car going wide. There was the double zero car. Neil Heckens now has an opportunity to pass the double zero car, which is Dennis Garrison. Dennis Garrison made a big mistake there, Ayrton, and it's possibly cost him a place, but he's made it back. He's got back past Neil Heckens, so plenty of action right here, right now.
Yeah, these guys all got checked up from lap traffic ahead. Steven Van Helston went wide, and Maxim Reinstein tried to make an attack in the carousel as well, as he's actually gone on the inside on the front stretch. Once again, he's looking to make a pass into turn 1. He brakes very late and just shoots off the track. He goes straight into the wall. His race is over.
Oh dear, and we have another accident just there. The 41 car was tagged from behind, and that was Neil Heckens. He is now got a car that is crabbing sideways. Very, very bad accident for him. It's crippled his suspension. So we'll get a replay of that and see what happened there. But that's just what we did not want to see after everybody, Ayrton, was so consistent and doing so well.
Yeah, I don't think that was a driving error by Maxim Reinstein. I think that was probably a computer problem. There's no way that he would have been able to just shoot off track at full throttle like that.
Yeah, and we now have a replay of the Maxim Ramstein incident. We see them coming down the track there, and all of a sudden, you're quite right, Ayrton, that there's got to be some sort of computer problem. He just went straight ahead, no checking up whatsoever, no braking, nothing. And he's in the wall pretty hard. That's the end of his race for sure. As we go back live now, we're still with Neil Heckens, director at this point in time. He's struggling to get his car back around, and he's right on the exit. He's doing a great job of handling that car, which is a complete wreck at the moment. Let's hope he can get into the pits and get the car fixed up. Bearing in mind, Sean, am I correct that these guys do have some spare cars to get into?
Well, they do get one free fast repair, and Neil hasn't been in yet, so I'm going to assume he's going to use it. It'll be used here, and he should have a good car to come back out on the track with. But he spun. He got loose, spun, and then he got tagged, but took pretty heavy damage. So I'm on him here in the pits. Let's see how he comes out of the pit, and I think that'll tell us everything about whether or not he's going to be able to continue on here up to speed.
Well, guys, I can report that he's taken 4 tires. His car looks perfectly okay once again, so he is able to rejoin. I kind of like that, Ed, and the fact that these guys have a fast repair. So your day is not over after 20 laps if you have an incident such as Neil had just there.
Yeah, it definitely motivates you to keep on going. I always hate it when I'm having a fun race and then have an incident that causes just enough damage that I won't be able to drive, just like how Neil's problem was. But being able to get into pits and come out with a brand new car, it definitely makes your day a little bit better.
Yeah, and of course you can only do that in simulated racing. In real life, he would have been in awful trouble. But I do like that feature that the Piston Cup guys have implemented. It's been implemented for all the races so far, including this one, the Bob Shock 150, which to my mind makes it for more interesting racing. So he's back on track. He's way down now in 21st place is Neil Hickens. So we'll go to the front once again, Ayrton, and you tell us what you're seeing right now.
Well, at the moment, Rudy DeVitt has a 5-second lead for Jarno Panicky. He's running away with this one. Right behind him is Tin Wine in third, another 4 seconds back. So definitely a very spread out feel at the moment. The closest battle we actually have is Nick Thyssen and Pascal Dukers, with Fabian Dijon closing in on them a little bit, but just not enough to really make a statement in this battle.
Yeah, that's true. Now, an interesting thing that's just happened, we saw Neil Hickens going to the pits. A bunch of other guys might have had to go in as well through damage. But we saw Nick take 4 tires there, Sean. No doubt he would have put some fuel in as well. He was on lap 20 when that happened, so not that far away from the first pit window. Do you think that might work to his advantage later on in the race?
It could. It very well could. As long as he stays on
Hang on. We see a spinner number 48. The 48 car. Who was that? I missed the name, but that would have been. That is in fact Graham van der Stickelen, who had a huge spin just coming out of the left-hander there, and we'll get a replay of that. He's managed to keep going, thank goodness, the 48 car. But that was, look at that, a huge spin. He did hit the wall. Did he hit the wall? Yes, I believe he might have tagged the wall a little bit. So lucky for him that he hasn't got a lot of damage, or maybe he has, Ayrton, because he came very close to another spin coming out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, and that happened right in front of Nick Thyssen. Nick Thyssen had some good reaction speed to avoid that, but that was definitely a very close call.
Yeah, well, luckily he's able to continue Bram van der Stickelen, so good luck to him. But back to the battle that we were describing before that happened. I think that's pretty much put an end to that battle. So we go back to Neil Hickens and Robert. That's all. These are all drivers that are being passed back markers. So looking for a good battle at this point in time. Sean, what are you seeing?
Well, right now, Dennis Garrison trying to make up ground on Kane Gerards. Dennis is flying. He's having a good
crash. We have another crash, and that was
Bram van Stickelen.
Again, Bram van Stickelen. So he obviously did have some damage there and not able to negotiate some of these turns properly. So we got another replay of that incident. We see that Bram van Stickelen comes through, and the 48 car has another spin, and there he's gone. No, he's still running at this point in time. This is where it happens as he comes through. Well, where is it? I'm not seeing it at the moment. There it is now, spinning, and this time he hits the other side of the track. So a bad day for him right there. So Bram van der Stickelen having some bad times. Let's hope he can get into the pits and get repaired. Meanwhile, looking just back to Kevin Wekkermans, the red and white car of Kevin Wekkermans. He has been following pretty closely on the back of Steven van Helsdingen. So Ethan, a little bit of a battle brewing here by the looks of it.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be Steven van Helsdingen's day at the moment. He started in 6th place, and he's just been dropping, losing position every few laps. He's now in 9th place and being pressured really hard by Kevin Wekkermans. He seems to just be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they go down into turn 1 there. He brakes pretty early for that. Kevin Wekkermans had to check up quite severely there to avoid going into the back of him. But now they are going to be coming onto some lap traffic here. Steven van Helsdingen, Kiers Jochems just in front of them. Steven comes up to the rear of Kiers right now. He goes to the outside, passes him pretty easily, as does Kevin Wekkermans, so they can continue on with their battle. Well, we've had some action, we've had some attrition as well. Nothing that brought out a caution. I have to ask at this stage, is cautions being applied for this race, Sean?
Well, they are, but as was explained to us in the meeting in pre-race, we were going to try and do this with as few cautions as possible, and only major incidents involving multiple cars or incidents in the S's would really be given the flag. Otherwise, it was let it race. There are a lot of good, clean runoff areas that should keep cars off the track surface, and so far, nothing. But you did say attrition. Well, the proof of that right now, 20 cars on the lead lap. So I would say the attrition has been pretty high so far. We haven't even reached the halfway point yet, and almost half the field is a lap down.
Yeah, that's true. But having said that, I just want to go back to the decision. As Kevin Wekkermans now, we're still driving with Kevin Wekkermans. Kevin Wekkermans is putting a move on to Steven van Helsdingen. Can't quite get it done coming into the carousel now. He closes right up on the back of Steven. Steven holds him out, and he goes back into single file. Ethan is right there, but he just can't get the job done.
Yeah, he just can't quite get the run, and while these guys have been, while Kevin Wekkermans has been held up by Steven van Helsdingen, Bob Van Katwijk and Roy Visser have been closing in on those two, so it's going to be formed into a pack battle once again, and just seems like Steven van Helsdingen is holding up anyone that comes up behind him.
Yeah, it does seem that way. He's still sitting in 9th place though, and he's on the lead lap. As we see, Kevin Wekkermans making his move now. He's on the outside in turn 1, but once again, Steven van Helsdingen holds it together, and as they go through the S's here, he holds off Kevin Wekkermans. So Kevin Wekkermans got a lot of work to do to try and pass Steven. He's not making it easy at all, which he shouldn't, of course. He's fighting for position. I just want to get back, Sean, to the decision by the management of the series to be, circumspect with the cautions. I think that's a great decision. You can get a race completely marred by cautions if they bring out cautions for every single accident that happens, as we've seen in some races, including one we covered this morning.
Well, in most road racing series, cautions are local cautions, limited to areas of the track and not full course cautions, unless, again, there are car pileups, difficult sections of the track. I think the decision to do what they've done, I think, is a wonderful one. I think most would say so far it's worked out quite well.
Absolutely. Now, just moving to Dennis Garrison. Dennis has got Koen Gerard with him. This is a fight for position. They are side by side going up through the SS Etten. A little bit of battling happening here. They're still side by side.
Yeah, Dennis Garrison's on the inside. He has the preferred line going into the bus stop, and Koen Gerard is going to check up a little, but looks like he's going to try to get a run entering the carousel, but it doesn't look like he's quite going to be able to do it. So Dennis Garrison gets that seventh place position.
Yeah, good move. Just coming straight out of turn one, Dennis Garrison was on the attack, and he's made a good move on Kungaretz, and he's now moved himself up into 7th place. He can now go and try and chase down the next guy, which is Pascal Dukas. However, Kungaretz is closed up again there, Ethan, so he's going to have another attempt as they go down into turn one, perhaps, to try and get that place back.
Yeah, these guys are very close in speed. Also, just to note that Pascal Dukert's ahead of him. The last lap made a mistake in the bus stop and let Fabian Dijon go in front of him. He did touch the wall a little bit, but I don't think the damage is affecting his speed.
Yeah, there's not that much distance between Dennis and Pascal Dukas. So Dennis, he's going up the S's now, and Pascal is virtually approaching the bus stop. So he's got a bit of work to do to catch up there. Meanwhile, ahead of Pascal Dukas, we do have Fabian de Jong still by himself there, Nick Thyssen in front of them, and then we've got Neil Heckens and Tim Vian. So looking for a battle. If there's going to be a battle, it might be with Neil Heckens. Now Neil Heckens is way down because he had that accident. Can't see a good battle at this point in time. Sean, are you seeing anything?
Well, I'm focusing on this battle between Bob Van Katbike and Kevin Beckemans and Van Helsding, and I mean that's good action right there. And the Dennis Garrison, the move he made, it took him about 5 laps to set that up, and that was hard work. I hope he can hang on to it. One of the things that's really interesting that makes these cars so much different than your normal road racing vehicle is that rear axle is a straight axle. And one of the problems of getting into the turns is you'll have wheel hop, and you'll see these tires smoking as they're getting into the turns. That's not always brakes or locking up. That could be the wheels literally hopping off the ground. The thing that makes real road racing cars different is that they have independent suspensions. They're made to handle these turns. So that's certainly something to watch. You're going to want to see throughout the race who's having trouble with wheel hop and who isn't. That could send you off the course pretty quick and end your race or lose several positions for you.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting information. I didn't know that about these cars, but it does make sense because in true oval racing, they obviously don't need the independent suspension because the pressure on that axle is normally pretty constant. But we do see Kevin Beckemans finally getting by. Who was it? Kevin Beckemans, he got by Kungaretz, I think it was, but that was because Kun went into the pit. So we are now starting to get into the pit window, Sean, so this is where the strategies start to play out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You just called it. Bob Van Katbike's in, Steven Van Helsdingen's in, and it looks like Van Katbike is going to go for 4 tires and fuel here, and that's the strategy right now. It looks like that window is here, and I think everybody else is probably going to follow suit. Lap 31, we said the fuel window was about 32 laps, so here we go. We'll start seeing the leaders, these guys on the lead lap, making their way in and trying to go for that one-stop strategy.
Yeah, so 32 out of 150. One-stop strategy, how can that be?
Well, it's only a 62-lap race.
Oh, sorry, it's 150 miles. My apologies. I just had a brain failure right there. So yeah, they could be doing that, and I don't think they're going to be getting a lot of cautions here today, though. So they're going to have to run everything out under the green flag.
Yep. It's looking that way so far for sure. Hey, let me throw a little trivia out there for our YouTube and Twitch followers right now, and everybody following us on Twitter. Who has the most NASCAR wins at the Glen? I'll give you a few minutes to think about that, and we'll throw it back at you.
Now, that is a real interesting question. I know in the modern times, there are a few drivers that I can think of at this point in time. I won't mention any names right now. But the most wins overall, of course, that takes all the history of NASCAR into account. I would have no idea, Sean.
It's,
All right, now.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I was just going to say things will start to shake out when we are having the pit stops. I will just check with our director. It might be an opportune time, director, for us to take a short break whilst all the pit stops are shaking out, and then come back and call the next half of the race. What do you think? All right, we are going to a break right now. We'll be back very shortly with the Bob Shock 150. Welcome back, folks, to the Bob Shock 150 here at Watkins Glen, where we are driving along with the leader of this race right now, Rudy de Wit. Rudy has just done a fantastic job showing a clean pair of heels to the rest of the pack.
Yeah, there seems to be no one who's been matching his speed. Jarno Pankey did close up to about 2 seconds behind Rudy DeVitt after the pit stop sequence. They had a very good pit stop, but Rudy DeVitt in just a few laps has already enlarged that gap by 2.5 seconds. So that gap's already about 5 seconds now. So Rudy DeVitt is just flying.
Absolutely, and fingers crossed that he can get the job done today and get a win under his belt, because certainly he has shown he's got the speed in any class of racing that they've done so far on the ovals as well as here today. But certainly he is showing all his skill as a road racer on this track with this very, very difficult car to drive right here. But he's just doing it so easily at the moment, Ethan.
Yeah, he seems to be in complete control of this race and definitely looking towards the win, but then again, there's still about 25 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's check in with Sean and find out what Sean's been looking at. And Sean, you might want to give us the answer to that question, because I'm really curious right now.
Well, okay, I'll start with that. They call him Smoke. Tony Stewart, an accomplished road racer himself. One of those guys he's an it guy. He can drive it, anything. Put him behind the wheel of a 4x4 or road car, you name it. He can wheel it, and 5 wins for Tony Stewart, Mr. Smoke at Watkins Glen.
Well, guys, we've got a battle going on here between Roy Visser and Kevin Wekkermans, I believe, behind him. Kevin Wekkermans did have a look right there, Ethan. Couldn't get the job done, but he's pressuring Roy Visser quite severely at this point in time.
Yeah, these guys have been together for quite a while. Kevin Wekkermans got a very good run out of the bus stop, but couldn't quite finish off the move through the carousel. Roy Visser did a very good job at defending on the outside line. These guys are also just behind a battle for 8th place. Steven Van Helsden and Bob Van Katwijk are together as well.
Yeah, this is developing into quite a battle. In fact, if we go up a couple of spots to Bob Van Katwijk, he is actually got the pressure right on Steven Van Helsden right now. Steven has been good as he goes to the outside now, approaching the bus stop. Ayrton, this is going to be for position, and he gets the job done. Great racing.
Yes, very good braking technique for Bob Van Katwijk. He's going to have that position now, and now Roy Visser and Kevin Wekkermans have gone on to the back of Steven Van Helsden.
Yep, and the battle is definitely on. Kevin Wekkermans looks pretty racy, and looks like he wants to get that position, but it seems that Roy Visser has defended quite effectively and managed to hold him out. But there's quite a little train going on here, starting from the rear with Kevin Wekkermans, as he goes a little wide coming onto the front straight there. Does manage to pull it back in, and going down into turn 1 now. This is normally an interesting turn where we see them close right up now, 3 of them all in a row, some wide, some taking the narrow line, and they go up through the S's once again, and a fierce battle certainly developing between these 3 drivers. Kevin Wekkerman's doing a really good job, but just can't get to grips with Roy Visser. Roy Visser managing to hold him out. Goes a little defensive there, Ayrton, as they come into the bus stop. He closes right up on the back of, who was that? That is Steven Van Helsden. And just ahead of them, we have Bob Van Katwijk, who was a little under pressure as well. They're passing a slower car of Kim Van Stikkelen or Van der Stikkelen. And these guys all get safely through at this point in time. Kevin Wekkerman is just passing the slower car right now, and they can continue their battle.
Yeah, we know Kevin Wekkerman's actually from the Roof Euro series that we cover. We've seen him. He's a very fast driver, very racy, and very fast as well. So surprised he isn't a little farther up on the standings. But then again, these guys are all road racers, and I know a lot of these guys, especially guys like Roy Visser, have said that they've been practicing all week and they're ready to race on this track. I see a little smoke in turn 1. Did you see a spinner up ahead?
No, I didn't see any spinning. That might be what Sean was referring to earlier where the straight axle gives off a little smoke as they go hard through a turn. Now, Kevin Wickerman's definitely pressuring Roy Visser at this point in time. He goes to the outside, now he goes to the inside, and now he falls back into line again as they go into the bus stop. Not the place you want to try a move, because there's only place for one car going through there, although we have seen the guys try too wide. Going through the carousel now, Kevin Wickerman's getting the job done here. Ayrton, he's pushed Roy Visser to the outside. Roy Visser responding once again on the inside as they come down into the left-hander. This is going to be interesting. No, Kevin Wickerman's once again has to fall into line because he was on the not preferred line for that turn. So Roy Visser defends successfully, and the battle is on once again now on lap 40 as they go down into turn 1.
Yeah, it seems like Kevin Wickerman is just getting the runs in all the wrong places. He keeps on getting a very good run out of turn 1 and through the S section, but making a move into the bus stop is really difficult, especially if you're not ahead in line with the other drivers. So Kevin Wickerman is definitely really struggling as he gets another run exiting the S section. He's very fast through here. He's going to go to the outside instead of the inside, this time going around with Roy Visser defending on the inside. Let's see if he can outbreak him this time around.
And they go side by side, and this time Kevin Wickerman's, oh, that is ended in tears for Kevin. He got a touch there from Roy Visser. It was not a good idea to try and go too wide into that turn. We're going to go on replay there. He's got some damage on his car now. Tragedy struck just going into the bus stop there, Ayrton.
Yeah, that's definitely a really difficult corner to go too wide in. It looks like Roy Visser, he gave a lot of room on entry, but then didn't give enough room on the second part of the on the second part of the bus stop. So that just caused the collision between the two. I think that was just a racing incident.
Yeah, definitely no intention there to do any harm, but certainly it's put a big dent in Kevin Wickerman's day as he goes into the pits now. Hopefully he can pull out a spare car and re-enter the race with a good car. But tragedy there for for Kevin Wickerman. Roy Visser, in the meantime, has continued on without any damage. So he came out the better in that encounter there, and he's moved up as the car in front of him just disappeared for a moment, and he goes back into the bus stop. So he's looking all right there, Ethan.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to continue, but he did lose a lot of time and a couple of positions. I think Dennis Garrison got by him in that instant. So in 11th place at the moment, looking to try to get back into top 10 if possible.
Yeah, we're getting information from our spotters that perhaps we should be calling the bus stop the Inner Loop. That is its official name, and we do know that, but the bus stop is so much easier to call because most people know that corner as the bus stop. Not to be confused with the famous bus stop at Daytona as well. So Roy Visser back in the game. Let us find out from Sean now if there's anything that he has been watching. Sean?
Yeah, I've been watching Nick Thisson and King Garax go at it. Pretty exciting battle. Thisson is, he's on the charge. He's looked pretty good here, and he's he can put himself in line here for a top 5 finish. It's very, very possible. He's got a strong car, and we've got less than 20 laps to go, so anything can happen right now. Going back to Visser, I looked at his car pretty closely. He's got a little bit of damage on the left front, but I don't think it's going to affect him very much. But there are still positions to be decided. There's a good battle going on here. 5th back to let's say 10th and 11th. I think anything can happen. That's where all the racing is going on right now. Rudy has just walked away really, and guys that got some help with the pit stops.
Yeah, well, look,
unfortunately, just are not able to make up any ground.
Yeah, well, my apologies, I walked all over you there. I was just thinking it might be time to let the viewers know exactly what the standings are. So Ethan, why don't you call the top 10 for us so we can let the viewers know who's who and who's where?
Sure, Richard. In first place, still leading the race, is Rudy
Oh,
DeVitt.
just before we do that, we just had a huge spin into the inner loop by Nick Piston. He managed to catch it again, so that could have been a really bad moment for him. I'm sure his heart is in his mouth right now, but he did get away with that, and he lives to race on. Sorry, Ethan, back to you.
That was an incredible save by Nick Thyssen, I must say. He did lose a little bit of time, lost touch of Koen Gerards, but still held his position. Very good driving by him. Back to the standings, Rudy DeVitt is still leading a controlling race. Jarno Panicky in second. Then there's Tim Vine in third, 8 seconds back from the leader. Fourth place is Fabien Dejean. Fifth place is Pascal Dukers. Sixth is Koen Gerards. Seventh, Nick Thyssen. Eighth, Bob Van Katwijk. Ninth, Steven Van Helsingen. 10th, Dennis Garrison.
Thank you, Ethan. That lets the viewers know who's running in the top 10 right now. And these guys, I must say once again, I know we've said it before, but hats off to these guys. They're doing a wonderful job with this car on this track, and it's been a pretty fun race to watch and to call. But certainly Rudy DeVitt, as he goes, he splits two cars, one on the outside, one on the inside, coming into turn number one, and does it pretty easily. Must have been a little bit of a moment there for him, thinking, I wonder if these guys are going to do something to, retard my race, but they didn't. And Rudy DeVitt doing it pretty easily at the moment. He's totally in control of this race as we speak. We have got 46 laps down out of 62, I believe. So, barring some unfortunate incident, Ayrton, I would say that Rudy DeVitt is looking good for a win here.
Yeah, he just has to bring it home, really, with about, I'd say about 16 laps to go. He's definitely in control. Actually, as I'm just looking, there's a spinner in the inner loop. Mark Figueres in 29th place just went off and hit the wall. Looks like he's going to be rejoining the track now.
Yeah, Mark Figueres, one of the back markers, 3 laps down. So certainly will not feature in the finish of this race up near the top. But let's check in with Jarno Panicky. Jarno's been running a great race in second place, but he has just not been able to do anything with Rudy DeVitt. Rudy has just dominated this race, and good on him. We would like to see him get a win. It will be his first win in the series. We are in race number 4. Sean, what do you think these guys should have enough fuel to get to the end? Not hearing from Sean right now. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I think all these guys who, the leaders that came in lap 31, 32, they're good. They're good to the finish. I mean, Rudy's, unless something amazing happens, this is his race to win or lose, to be honest. But I don't see anybody overtaking him. In fact, Jarno and Tim, they just keep losing time to him on every lap. Of course, the back markers aren't helping that either, having to get around them and manage that traffic. But the next closest person is Fabien Dejean, and he's almost 20 seconds back.
Yeah, we're getting information that there's a battle on for 15th place. I've got the cameras on Timon Nabirs, and it appears that yes, there is certainly a battle going on there, Eton.
Yep, Neil Heckens and Pascal de Burke are in front of Simon Nabirs at the moment. Neil Heckens has managed to actually get back onto the lead lap after having some troubles earlier on the race, so very good run by him. I'm not sure if he's going to be last the whole way on fuel. He did pit on about lap 22. I'm not sure if he's going to make it the whole way, or he's going to have to pit with about 10 laps to go.
Yeah, that's right. He had an early pit stop after an incident, but he is currently challenging Pascal de Burke, or trying to certainly make a challenge. He's on the back of him very strongly as he goes to the left hand, and we have a bobble there by that was, of course, Pascal de Burke. So now it looks like we have two wide situation going down the front straight, Pascal de Burg now loses the position to Neil Hecken, so he moves up one spot, and a good move there by him, but an unfortunate bobble there by Pascal, Ayrton.
Yeah, now Thymen de Burg just went down on the inside into turn one, so now Pascal de Burg just lost 2 position in 2 corners. That is not good for him, but very good for Neil Heckens and Thymen de Burg.
Yeah, and these guys are running pretty close at the moment, and we are talking about 15th, 16th, and 17th position. Thymen de Burg now, of course, moves into 16th place. They go through the bus stop inner loop, whatever you want to call it, and around the carousel once again. Thymen de Burg doing a great job, but Neil Heckens doing a slightly better one as he gets a good slingshot out of the carousel there and moves down towards the left-hander at turn number 5 or 6, I believe it is. So these guys, they are a little way down from where they would like to be, but everyone's battling hard for position right now. So we'll see how that turns out. So that was a good battle to call right there and to watch as we see Pascal de Burg now having it all to do to catch up to these guys once again. He is there or thereabouts, but he goes really wide. Pascal de Burg, this is the widest turn one I've ever seen, and he manages to bring it back on the track, and he's lost a significant amount of time there, Ayrton.
Yeah, that seemed like he just missed its braking mark and went a little too hard into turn one. So he's got lost a lot of position now, and now the leader, actually Rudy de Wit, is coming up on him to lap him.
And back to the battle here between Thymen de Burg and Neil Heckens. Thymen seems to have caught up a little bit with Neil, but Neil is pretty good through this. Watch him go through the carousel. He just slingshots it out of there. But this time, Thymen de Burg has got a good run out of the carousel as well. And he's starting to close up into turn number 6 right there. And maybe, just maybe, Ayrton, he can start a move going perhaps down into turn 1.
Yes, he's certainly got the draft. Looks like Neil Heckens gets a little better exits out of all the corners, but Thymen de Burg is still keeping touch with him.
Yeah, definitely. Now he closes up into turn 1. He's right on the back of Neil Heckens right now. He goes a little wide there, which is perfectly acceptable. And loses a bit of time and then starts closing up as they go back through the S's. Neil Heckens is having some internet issues there because he just disappeared for half a second. That will be scaring the pants off Thymen de Burg as he sees the car in front of him that he wants to race and challenge disappear from his screen. Going through the inner loop now once again. Gosh, these guys do a great job going through them with this heavy car. And around the carousel once again. Still not close enough to make any kind of move there, Ayrton. So we might leave that for a moment and go to Sean and see what Sean is looking at. Sean?
Yeah, thanks, Richard. You know, I'm watching Rudy right now. I'm just watching him manage traffic. You know, and the people actually, Pascal de Burg was giving him a hard time all over his bumper, and then he just kind of walked away from him, and now he's coming up on some more back markers, and he's having quite a drive here today. I just hope he can hold on. And we know we talked about it early in the race, in the pre-race, that he's had some really bad luck. This is going to be a great opportunity for him to get back up into the chase for the points lead.
Guys, we just want to cut in there. Ayrton, you called it correctly. It looks like Neil Heckens had to do a pit stop.
Yep, I don't think he was able to make it on fuel since he pitted on lap 22, so he's going to have to come into pits. He's going to drop down a lot, probably go a lap down as well, so probably going to come out around between 20th and 25th place, so not the best race for Neil Heckens, and this is really going to hurt him in the championship as well.
Yeah, bearing in mind he is sitting in 2nd place in the championship at the moment. That was unfortunate for him. He is back out and circulating. He will have to strive for the best position that he can get to pick up as many points as he can get. So Neil Heckens at this point in time, I see that we are following Nick Piston. So let's go up there, Ayrton, and see what's going on. Nick Thyssen, of course, battling still with Koen Gerards. They're very, very close at this point in time, and this is for the sixth and seventh position.
Yeah, both those guys got a little held up by by a lap car that was Case Yoakams, who held them up a little bit in the inner loop, so that gave Nick Thyssen the chance to catch up a little bit to Koen Gerards. But Nick Piston he's been hanging the same distance from Koen Gerards for a lot of this. Actually, as he goes a little wide, skims the wall. I'm not sure if he got a little much damage there. Definitely lost a little bit of pace onto this front stretch. So he's gonna have to put a little more work in to get back up to Koen Gerards.
Yeah, in fact, Ethan, that was a big moment there for Nick Thyssen. You know, he nearly put the car into the fence there. He did actually skim the fence a little bit, but he's got back. But he's lost time now to Koen Gerards, sitting in 6th place. Koen doing a great job. Nick Thyssen is well doing a great job. I still take my hat off to these guys managing this car around here. They're doing a wonderful racing, as we see. Nick a little bit loose through the inner loop there, Ethan.
Yeah, he's been struggling a lot in these past couple laps. A lot of twitchy driving, especially in some of the faster corners and left rights, such as the inner loop. So he might be struggling with his stop a little bit, or maybe the worn tires, or maybe he has a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I think he does. The car seems to look as if it has a bit of damage. He must have been touching the walls a little bit, so he could have a little bit of a twisted suspension, and that's what's giving him some problems. Still, he is managing the car quite well, and is losing time now to Koen Gerards though. So Koen at this point in time in 6th place, doing a great job. Pascal Dukas, let's check in with Pascal Dukas just ahead of Koen Gerards. Pascal is in 5th place at this point, and he is just by himself at the moment. Nobody very close to him, although he's coming up on the back of Mark Figueres, and Mark Figueres a back marker at this stage. As whoa, Pascal just shoots by in the carousel there. These guys are kept well to the outside, so a good job by them at this point to stay out of the way and let the leaders through. But back to Pascal Dukas. Pascal Dukas is in 5th place, and he's been following Fabian de Jong, but quite a ways back. So, you know, these guys are single file at the moment, but getting the laps down to lap number 55 right now. It seems to me, Ethan, that the laps are running out. If nobody's going to catch Rudy de Wit, and in fact any of these top 5.
Yeah, but right now I'm actually looking at a really intense battle for the 8th position. Steven Van Helsden and Dennis Garrison have been going at it for the past couple laps, and battling really hard as they were earlier in the race as well. Before the pit stops, they've gotten back together, and Dennis Garrison trying to find a way past Steven Van Helsden at the moment.
Yes, this is true. This battle has been going on for a long time. It's kind of, got hot and cold at times. But right now, Dennis Garrison, who is 4th in our championship, Dennis has been trying to get that position from Steven Van Helsingen for quite some time. Let's stay with this battle and see if he can get the job done. He's right on the back of Steven Van Helsingen as they come out of the carousel. But we've seen this all before, Ethan, where Steven just manages to hold him off going down into turn 6 and 7 again.
Yeah, Steven's been having some very good battles, some good defending in the recent races. Just very difficult to get by. A lot of drivers have been struggling to get by him. He doesn't seem to quite have the pace, but his racecraft is definitely up there.
Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought Ayrton had finished his thought. You know what? I'm watching Roy Visser trying to get himself.
And we seem to have a problem there with the audio on Sean's microphone. Sean, you with us?
I am with you. You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm watching Roy Visser, trying to get up to 10th place here, and he is just about caught Bob Van Katwijk. I think we have got a race here. He's trying really hard to get in the top 10 after having a little bit of a problem earlier taking a little bit of damage and losing some time, but it's a pretty good battle. He's got just a few laps left to do it, about 6 laps left here, and I think he's got a shot at pulling off the top 10.
Yeah, well, I'm watching Roy Visser as we speak. He seems to be about a second or so behind Bob Van Katwijk, so he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch him at this point in time. I want to go back to the battle between between Dennis and Stephen. This battle is a lot closer than the one we just mentioned with Bob Van Katwijk and Roy Visser. Dennis Garrison now closes right up on the back of Stephen Van Helsingen again, going into turn 1 and up through the S's. Do you think he can get this job done?
Yeah, I'm hoping that Dennis Garrison can make a move in these closing laps. There's about 5-6 laps left, and not many corners to go since there's only 8 corners on this track. All Dennis has to do is just get a run out of one of these corners to make a move as he actually takes a look into the inner loop. Doesn't quite have anything to do it since he's a little too far back, but he's definitely looking racy.
Yeah, and this might be his opportunity now. He's right on the back. No, once again, Stephen Van Helsingen just has enough out of the carousel to hold him at bay. But now they are coming up on some slower traffic. They pass one car, they go into the left-hander, and we do see a car who was wide there, one of the back markers. This is going to make it interesting, Ethan.
Yeah, if Stephen Van Helsingen doesn't want to get held up, he's going to have to really navigate this lap traffic as Dennis Garrison and Stephen Van Helsingen both go by those cars with ease. Definitely the lap traffic plays a part in these battles at the end of the races.
Yeah, I thought that might cause a few more problems. We're driving here with Dennis Garrison from his nose camera. He can see Van Helsingen, but then again, he's been seeing him all race long. He just cannot get enough to get next to him. Now he closes up once again as they go through the inner loop, and still Stephen Van Helsingen has enough. Now Stephen Van Helsingen is wide, and Dennis Garrison closes right up once again. This might be an opportunity, but no, Ayrton. Stephen Van Helsingen doing a fantastic job under pressure, huge pressure from Dennis Garrison.
Yeah, the different driving styles of these guys is definitely very noticeable. Dennis Garrison likes to brake a little later and go faster into the corners, while Stephen Van Helsingen is just looking to get good exits, and that's why Garrison is struggling so much to make past on him, because he just can't get that run in the previous corner to be able to make that dive on the inside.
Yeah, and folks, this is the battle for the 8th place. Stephen Van Helsingen currently holding down that 8th place. Dennis Garrison in 9th place, trying to take away the position from him. We need to keep an eye, guys, on the leader. We are on lap number 59. The leader, no doubt, is on lap 59 as well. We do want to see the leader crossing the line for the win. That leader is currently Rudy de Wit, Ayrton. Doesn't look like anybody's going to take it away from him. But here's the battle now. The best opportunity possible for Dennis Garrison, Ayrton.
Yep. Stephen Van Helsingen made a mistake on the exit of the inner loop. He went wide into the carousel. Dennis Garrison tried to attack on the inside, but just didn't quite get the run on exiting the corner. And now Stephen Van Helsingen is holding on to that 8th position.
Yes, Stephen Helsingen has grimly held on to that position. I just wonder, as the laps close down now, we're going into lap number 60 as they cross the line, if Stephen Van Helsingen is going to have enough to keep Dennis out, because Dennis will be getting more and more desperate as the laps run down. He wants that position, but Stephen has managed to hold him out so far. They are coming up to some slower cars in the really fast S section and into the inner loop, so this might play a part as well. We'll keep an eye on this battle and keep half an eye on Rudy de Wit, the leader of this race, to make sure that we watch him crossing the line, if indeed he does cross the line in first position. Ayrton?
Yep, as Dennis Garrison is still holding on to the back of Stephen Van Helsingen. Meanwhile, Bob Van Katwijk has caught up to these guys as well as they've been battling. So it could end up being a three-way battle. And if Dennis Garrison now has the pressure of Van Katwijk, so he can't afford to make a mistake now.
And we have a big accident in front of them. My word, that was a really hard hit. We did have, that was Steven Van Helsingen hit that car full on. So that we'll get a replay of that, because that is going to make a big change to the race. And we're on a replay. We see Steven Van Helsingen coming around, going down towards turn 1, that seems to be, and then no, that's turn 6, and there is a spinner and the car goes flying. He gets a full hit from Steven Van Helsingen, but Ayrton, Steven's still going.
Yeah, it looks like it was Johan Somers, the number 74 car, that had that spin on the exit of the carousel, hit the wall, spun around, and Neil Heckens hit him full on, and then there was Steven Van Helsingen who hit him full on. So if he's still going, that's good, but I'm surprised that he'll be able to keep on going with that damage.
All right, well, we'll need to just see how they're checking it. So Nick Piston, 7th place. Steven Van Helsingen was in 8th place. Bob Van Katwijk was in 9th, and Dennis Garrison, who was in 9th place, he's the one that's lost out here, because he now gets shunted back 1 place. But we are on the last lap, folks. So Ayrton, let's go to Rudy de Wit and watch him as he puts a stamp on this race.
Yeah, at the moment he has an 8.5 second lead over Jarno Paniquet. Complete dominance all race.
And we watch him now. He is on lap 62. We believe this is the last lap of the race. He's going now into the second last turn of this race. He passes a slower car. He doesn't have to do anything fancy to pass the car. Whoa, he has a brief kind of half of a, and he crosses the line right now and takes the win. Good on you, Rudy de Wit. This is your first win in the series. Rudy de Wit takes the win very, very comfortably. Jarno Paniquet now coming into the turn 1, so he's obviously crossed the line as well. Tim Vine coming in 3rd, so a great race edited from Rudy de Wit.
Yeah, and at the moment I'm still looking at the battle for that 8th place position. Steven Van Helsingen is actually holding off Bob Van Katwijk coming to the second to last corner. Van Helsingen seemed to have lost some speed from the damage from that car hit earlier, but looks like he's probably going to be able to hold on to this position with Bob Van Katwijk, who actually passed Dennis Garrison before that for that 9th place position.
Yep, and these 3 guys are crossing the line as we speak now. Steven Van Helsingen does get the 8th place. Bob Van Katwijk took the place from Dennis Garrison due to that accident in 9th place. And Dennis Garrison crossing in 10th place. And we've seen a few of the others. If we go further back to say, let's go to Kevin Weckermans in 18th place. We see Kevin with a badly damaged car now coming around the final corner, and he will take the checkered flag as well. In fact, they are going into the pit, so these guys obviously have finished their race. Folks, we are going to take a break now, and most of the guys have crossed the line, and we will come back to you with the full standings, and we may do some driver interviews as well. Welcome back, folks, to the Bob Shock 150 here at the Watkins Glen Raceway. We have just witnessed an excellent race won by Rudy de Wit. We're going to give you the full standings right now, and Etan, why don't you start us off?
Yep. In first place was Rudy de Wit. Second was Jarno Panikiet. Tim Wine in third. Fabian DeJean in fourth. Pascal Dukers in fifth. Koen Gerards in sixth. Nick Thyssen in seventh. Stephen Van Helsden in eighth. Bob Van Katwijk in ninth. And then Dennis Gerson in 10th.
Okay, and in 11th place we had Roy Visser. In 12th place, Denny Ratz. In 13th place, Chris Zylstra. In 14th, Taman Nabirs. In 15th place, Richard Cortland. 16th, Jupe Jellison. In 17th, Pascal de Burg. In 18th place, Kevin Wekemans. 19th place, Robert Witt. In 20th place, Joey Schmidt. And over to you, Sean.
Yes, and in 21st, Eric Mulder with Scully riding shotgun, and 22nd, Keys Yokums, and 23rd, Neil Heckens. Tough day for Neil. 24th, Joost Van Hoorn. 25th, Kim Vanderstickelen. 26th, Freddie Bezems. And 27th, Victor Elsenar. 28th, Mark Fierus. 29th, Hank Ahrens. And a tough day for Johan Summers in 30th.
And we'll just call out the last few finishes, although they were many laps down, most of them retired. In 31st, Marco Hoekstra. 32nd, Guy Schlackmulders. 33rd, Joost van der Stoep. 34th, Bram van der Stickelen. 35th, Maxime Ramstein, who had a great race early on. 36th, Nano van der Poel. And in 37th place, last place, Yuri Flossie. So that's the full standings for you right there. We've had a really, really good race, and we do have a couple of the participants for interview. First, we are going to bring in Roy Visser, and Sean Ambrose will talk to Roy. Go ahead.
Hey, Roy, how you doing today?
Well, not so good. I've been feeling very sick the last couple of days, so that took away all my practice time. I've just came from the couch to race this race, but I'm very glad for the result in the end.
Well, then I'm gonna take my hat off to you then and say, you know what? It's very commendable that you got up off the couch, had a sickness, and and still managed to run this race. It was a little tough on you. You know, I was pulling for you, Roy. I really thought you were going to get in the top 10 there. Looks like, I don't know, you tell me, did you use up the car a little bit there towards the end of the race trying to get to the 10?
Yeah, I was very close to the top 10 all the time, but in the beginning of my first stint, before the checkered or the green flag, I already had damage, and now in the second run, early on, I had some damage from another car as well, so the car wasn't running as fast as it should have. So I could have gotten to the top 10. I was close, very close.
Yeah, I really thought you were going to get there, and it, like I said, it looked like the car just kind of went away on you there a little bit with just about 6-7 laps to go. But a valiant effort, my friend, and I'm sure you'll be back in 2 weeks, ready to roll, and hopefully you'll have your health back.
Oh yeah, of course. Looking forward to it as always. Was a fun race in the end.
Well, I'm sure it's fun to finally get back on a road course for you, right?
Yeah. It's in Watkins Glen. It isn't the hardest track, but in the B NASCAR, it's challenging. But I've had a lot of fun, and going sideways is always one of the things I like. So that was pretty awesome in this car.
You know, we talked about it a little bit during the race. Did you have any problems with wheel hop, with those rear wheels on that straight axle hopping, skipping along the track?
Not during acceleration, but under braking and blocking some wheels. The wheel just wants to get away from you. It hops really bad.
Yeah, we suspected that. We saw several drivers looked like they were having trouble with that. So, but hey, listen, again, we appreciate you getting up off the couch and fighting through the sickness to get out here today. Great job. Sorry it didn't quite work out for a top 10, but great job nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Back to you, Richard.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Great talking to Roy Fisher right there. Now we have the winner of this race, the first time this series that he's won a race, and that is Rudy DeVitt. And Etan Ellis is going to speak to Rudy. Go ahead, Etan.
Thanks, Richard. Rudy DeVitt, first win of the season. How do you feel?
It's great to have a win, especially on a road course like this with the heavy NASCARs. I mean, it's really difficult to keep these on a road course.
Yeah, I noticed that looking at the results, you and many of the other drivers only had 2 incidents, which just shows how clean and competitive the field was today. Do you think this will really help you in the championship? Looks like you finished, Fabian DeJean, the championship leader, finished in 4th. So you looking to try to fight for that championship once again?
We'll have to see how the rest of the seasons go. I had a couple of results that weren't really good, and it's really hard with this point system to gain up back some points. Except if you get a lot of wins, because the bonus points they really count. So I don't really count myself out of the championships yet, but it's gonna be really difficult because the other guys are also very good.
Yeah, and just a quick question on your experience on the track at the time. You finished about 8.5 seconds up ahead of Jarno Pannekeet. Did you feel pressured that you had to keep on pushing, or were you fairly calm in the cockpit for majority of the race?
When the race started, I was able to push really hard for a couple of laps to create a bit of a gap. But I knew from testing that I had some issues with my fuel, that if I wanted to do a one-stop race, then it was gonna be really tight. So after 15 to 20 laps, I started fuel saving. But I was actually kind of surprised that it hardly cost me any lap time. So that was good. But when I saw Jarno pitting 1 lap early, I thought, oh, he's not gonna make it on one stop. So I started saving some more fuel from that point onwards, because there was a gap. I think it was 10 seconds back to Tim, and on a track like this with these cars, it's really hard to close a gap like that. So the second stint, I mainly saved some fuel to make sure that I would be able to reach the finish if there wasn't going to be a caution. And luckily I made it, because in the outlap I ran out of fuel.
Wow, that's an interesting scenario, because I didn't hear much about fuel saving from many of the other drivers, but you won the race, and that was a very good run, so congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy with the result. And also I thought that the lap guys were really doing a great job today. So thanks to them as well for their good awareness.
Yeah, there are definitely some close calls. Thanks, Rudy, and back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Etan. Interesting to hear there from Rudy DeVitt about the fuel saving. We didn't pick that at all during the course of the race, and there didn't seem to be any comments about it. But we have witnessed an excellent race. I'm still very impressed with the way that these guys handled this car, this really heavy car around this track. They seem to do it so easily. So we'll get some final thoughts from you guys on the race, and we'll start with you, Etan.
Well, I think it was probably one of the most clean road races I've seen, especially in the front of the pack. These guys are very good drivers. It was great to see them go.
Yeah, I thought so too. And how about yourself, Sean?
I'll echo that sentiment just a little bit. It was clean. Really nice to see guys who knew they were down get out of the way for the leaders, and it was a competitive race. There were little spots there where there was some really good racing going on. It's hard to expect that you're going to get side by side for the whole race. It's a road course, things do spread out, but I think it was a good race up front, and I'm really happy for Rudy to finally get a little luck shine on him today.
Yes, indeed. Well, folks, that is it. The Bob Shock 150 has come to an end, and we want to now thank a number of people and organizations for bringing this race to you. Firstly, we thank the organizers of the series, Neil Heckens, Roy Visser, Joop Willemsen, Dennis Garrison, and Jeroen Ursem. We also thank iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, and Ava Media for providing all the software and hardware that we use for the broadcasts. Thanks also to the broadcast team, Sean, Ayrton, and Giancarlo. Great job, guys. Thank you. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, our website is globalsimracingchannel.com. There you will find our broadcast schedule along with our archived races and race highlights. We also are on Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel. Very special thanks to Eric Ekholm, who provides us with some great music for the broadcast. You can find it not only here on GSRC, but in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and even Spotify. If you like the music, please tell Eric where you heard it at ericekholm.com. Thanks also to Casey Lalonde, who provides us with the music for our highlight videos. You can find more of his music at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. We have some upcoming broadcasts that we want to talk about. On Saturday the 29th, that is next week, at 15:45 UTC, we will be doing the Enduro Pro Series at Watkins Glen, this very track, but using the boot configuration. Saturday 29th of the 3rd at 1900 UTC, the GreenValleyLake.com MX5 World Tour will take to the very short Lime Rock chicane course. And on Sunday the 30th, we will have at 18:15 UTC the Roof Euro Trophy, pardon me, the Roof Euro Trophy at Alton Park Island Historic. And the next race in the Piston Cup will be at Charlotte. It'll be a night race, and that'll be on April the 6th at 1900 UTC. So thanks for staying with us for this race, folks. And until we see you again, race hard, race safely, and we hopefully will see you on track.